So now we will proceed to our first online lecture by Michèle Lemonnier-Darcemont about the strategic... Sorry? Yes, they are there. Great.
Here. Okay, it's perfect. Working. So Michèle Lemonnier-Darcemont and Christian Darcemont will present. So now I will share the screen. So this should work. And you should have a screen. Partager. That's okay?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll speak about the strategic conservation plan for the Albanian species Peripodisma ceraunii, which is called the Cika mountain grasshopper. So a few words about the Peripodisma genus. So this genus has been discovered and described by Fair Williams in 1972, and from a species found in Timfi mountain. And it belongs to Orthoptera crididae family and subfamily Melanopinae. It is a small grasshopper and wingless grasshopper. After it has been found in other places in Greece, but always in the area of Pindus, and also a little bit in Albania. In Albania, we described two other species of the same genus, Peripodisma lophizi near Girocastra and Peripodisma ceraunii near Vlorë town, in the mountains, of course. So this is the map of the distribution map of the species. So in blue, the Timfi, and you have the first, it was here, the first description of the species near Konica, and after it was found at the border and also in Albania, and also more in the south, up to these mountains, Paramitia and Suli mountains, and Tomor. In Tomoros. And in the north, so another species, Peripodisma lophizi, from Girocastra, Tepelene, and just up to here. And in this chain, along the sea, near Vlorë, between Vlorë and Imare, Peripodisma ceraunii, in the Ceraunian chain, mountain chain. The species are very similar, and the main difference are genitalia. From external view, we can only notice the color of rear tibia, which is bluish for Timfi, yellowish for lophizi, and greenish for ceraunii, with alive specimens. They are all threatened, endangered, near threatened, and critically endangered. The phenology is as follows. In May, roughly, we have hatching. And the phase, juvenile phase, is between May and July. And in July, we start, mainly end of July, the adult phase, with mating and laying up to end of October. The peak is in August and September. You can see the Ooteka, the eggs. It occurs on limestone substrate. It's mainly herbivorous, so it's flowers, flowering plants. But it can also eat a little bit gramineae. Status of population. So we made a study now 5 years ago, more, and we correlate the presence and abundance of Peripodisma genus with biodiversity, the richness. And there is a good correlation. And we can see here this, roughly this, the results. And we can see the area where it is not threatened and the area which is more difficult. We made also the relationship with the pastoralism impact, and mainly the pastoralism linked to cattle, and which has been, and mainly the cattle which has been recently introduced in the past decade, recently introduced in these mountains. Why? So because the cattle now, and mainly in Greece, are laid in the mountain instead of sheep and goats, and stay during the spring and also during the summer. And the way they graze is different compared to sheep, and more destructive, and also as it is imported race breeds, which are bigger than the initial local breeds, they are more destructive. Now we will focus on the Peripodisma ceraunii, and we 2 years ago we get funds from the SSC internal grant and Mohammed bin Zayed to perform an implementation plan, to implement a plan for the conservation of this grasshopper. So the team was composed of Albanian people, Eltonalimi, Andorra, Selo Rosrail, this is difficult for me, Michèle and me. This is the area, so here we have a town of Vlorë. I don't know if you see my mouse, but I hope yes. And this is the Cika Peak and this mountain. So the Cika Peak is over 2,000 meters, and we are very close to the sea. This is a little bit lower. This is the Cika Peak. Here we can see. The plan. So in the plan, we have covered all parts of the Assess Plan Act cycle. And we started by the network, and the first point was to train the Albanian team to monitor the species in the field. Then we have assessed the population monitored and carried analysis on the whole Cika mountain, and in parallel an eco-pastoral diagnostic. Then a plan with a workshop with stakeholders and development of a conservation strategy, and after actions. So the network has been done in July 2 years ago. So we trained the team. Due to the problem of the COVID, it was impossible to go in Albania. So we prepare the course through internet, through network. And so we went in mountain in Greece, similar mountains. We film, we make films, and we exchange with the Albanian team. And after, on the field, we followed them with WhatsApp in order to be sure that the work was perfectly done at the beginning. And after, we were able to meet, as you can see here. So during August to September, so studies have been made in situ with a quantitative measurement of the species and all along the mountain. From this is the north on the left, the south here, and from Cika here, Corres and Paliska. And we see that the most important population are between the Cika and Corres, and on the north of Corres. And in Paliska, there is it is lower because there's more pressure of pastoralism. In parallel, so during the autumn 2 years ago, we performed an eco-pastoral diagnostic in order to have a clear vision of what is the pressure and what and how it works. So we saw that between, to compare the real number of animals in situ compared to the declared one, now we can say that there is roughly a factor of 2. So, so you have to multiply by 2 the number of registered animals to have real animals in situ.
Christian, you have you have another 4 minutes. So
4 minutes. So I speed.
Yeah.
I speed. So after we make a workshop with stakeholders composed by NGO, plant collectors, shepherds, herders, conservation, and worked on definition of what we could identify as threat drivers and what we could anticipate to prepare a conservation plan. After we wrote the conservation plan, so composed with a vision, the goals, 4 goals, habitat management, species support, research and public awareness, a lot of actions, and shared with all parties. We made the complement work in situ in summer last year, 21. This is Cika Mountains. And public awareness. So a panel, in situ panel has been done and installed at the beginning of the path to go to the Cika Mountains. Also in the information center of visitor center of Logara Park, we have made information of that. And there's also information for schools in order to inform children about this issue. We have created 2 films, 2 video films, one in English and one in Albanian. Both are in YouTube for information of the public. And that's it. So we are on time. Okay, I close this.
Thank you.
Okay.
Great. Are there any questions from the floor or online? There's one online.
There's one question from Hoan Rie from Germany, and he asks where they usually lay their eggs.
Later eggs?
Where do they lay their eggs? The species. Yeah.
Where?
Where
they lay eggs.
Yes.
Okay. In the soil. So you have seen in the last picture the type of the soil, which is very composed of stones and a little stones which is used by shelters. But between the stones, we have soil, ground, the ground, and the eggs are in otex. About how many eggs inside?
Quel centimètre du sol?
Oui, about 50.
centimètres du sol.
Oui, close to under the ground, and we have about how many eggs? 10 to 20 eggs inside.
Thank you. I think we have to proceed because we have no time left. Thank you for your presentation.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.